Hey everyone, welcome back to Code with Poonam. This is day 41 of our 100 days of coding challenge in JavaScript. Today's challenge is all about converting Roman numerals to integers. Roman numerals can be tricky, but they follow specific rules. And once we understand them, it's easy to convert between Roman and integers form. Okay, so let's proceed with the today's challenge and we will move to our VS Code. In the VS Code, our question is there, right? What is the question? Write a JavaScript function to convert a Roman numeral string into an integer, right? And what here it is given, we have your sample input and output, right? So we can see here, we have here the Roman numbers, right? And here in the right side, representing to that, we have the integer. So we will be considering this as our input and we have to get this as an output, okay? So this is our sample input and output which is being provided, okay? So now let us come here and we will break down this question. So first of all, we have to write here what? JavaScript function, correct? So I'll just write here what? JavaScript function. After that, what we have to do? We have to convert the Roman numeral string into an integer, right? So that also I will take up here and I will put it over here, okay? Now, since this is asking to convert Roman numeral string into an integer, we will come here and we will define our function name as what? Roman into integer, okay? So we will write here what? Roman to integer like this. And we will write here with a parenthesis. So this will be our function name, okay? After that, what we have to do, we will come here and we will see our line number 10. What it is written? Convert a Roman numeral string into an integer. So let us understand the approach and I will write here the approach, okay? Now, in this, what is the first step we are going to do? We are going to create an object. What does this object is going to hold? This object is going to hold a Roman numeral and their corresponding integer values. So I will write it like this, okay? Now, what would be the range? Okay, so we will start from 1 and it is going to end at 1000. So what we are going to do here is it will be 1, then 5, then 10, then 50, then 100, then 500, and then 1000. You will ask me why 1000? 1 we understood, but why 1000? 1000 why? Because if you see the final output over here, it is what? 1994, right? At line number 7, right? So this means what? 1000. Your M stands for 1000, okay? So that is why we are getting 1994. So that is why we are keeping here as a 1000, okay? So let us come here and we will create our object, okay? So I will write here what? Const Roman map. Why I am writing Roman map? Because we need to map it, right? The Roman numerals to the integer, correct? So I will come here and we know we have to take this 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, 500 and 1000, all this integer values, right? So I will take this and I will put it over here itself directly. And to this correspondingly, we are going to write our Roman numerals, right? So this is for capital I, right? So I'll write here like this. Then what is our 5? Capital V, correct? After that, we have 10, right? So what is our 10? 10 is nothing but X, okay? After that, we have 50. What is 50? L. So I'll write here L colon 50. After that, what do we have? We have 100. What is our 100? C colon 100, okay? After that, what do we have? We have 500. That is nothing but D colon 500 and then we have 1000, that is nothing but M. So M colon 1000. So this is our object, okay? Now how we can access this I, V, X, L values? We know that we can access it with a dot operator, right? But I will show you another way also. So we can just write here what? Console.log and in this I will write here what? Roman map dot. If I write here C, what is the C value? It is nothing but 100. Let us see we get 100 or not. So I will write here what? Node day 41 challenge and if I hit enter, I get 100. If I change this to M, I will get 1000 as well. Let us see here. We get here 1000 as well, right? So that means we are able to access this. But this is what? This is nothing but a string, right? We are getting here as a string. So capital I, capital I, capital I. So how can we access a string? We can access it. There is one more way of accessing it. So console.log and I will write here what? Roman map square bracket and I will write here what? Inside this string I will write here I. then also I can access it. So I will write here day 41, you get here what? 1. If you come here and if you change it to M now, you will see here 2 times you are getting 1000. Let us rerun it, you get here 1000. So this is the one more way of accessing it, and this is what we are going to use it, okay? Now, since we need to work on each and every character over here, right? So that is why we are going to take a loop as well. So we will take a loop, right? We will take a for loop. And where it will start at 0. And where it will end at it will end at what? Roman numeral string, right? So this is our string. So suppose we take here as a Roman, okay? So it will end at what? Roman dot length, correct? So this is what will be our loop. So it will start at 0 and it is going to end at Roman length. So this is what we are going to do it. So this is our capital 3 times I. So it will start from 1 and it will end it over here. So what will be our loop? Then I is equal to 0. I will be is equal to 0, and where it will end, I should be less than our Roman dot length, right? And then we will have to increment as well. So this is our loop. Now inside the loop, we have to write the logic as well, okay? So what we are going to do inside the loop? So we will take here current and we will take here what? Next. Now what this current will have? So current will hold your current iterations value, okay? That means your capital I, capital I, capital I. And corresponding integer values we will pass. So that means we have to use here this as well, okay? Now what is the role of a next? Now let us understand this and how we will get the output, okay? Now if you see here, what is this? I value is what? 1 plus 1 plus 1, right? That is where we will get 3. But if you do here 1 plus 4, you will get 5, right? So this approach is not going to work here. What we have to do? So we will have to do here what? 5 minus 1, then only we will get here 4. Here also, if you see, this is what? 1 and this is what? 10. If you do 10 plus 1, it will be 11, right? So we will have to do here what? 10 minus 1, right? So that is where you are going to subtract it. So some places you will subtract it, some places you will add it. Now that is where this next will come into picture, okay? So what it will happen if your current value is smaller, okay? If your current value will be smaller than your next value, then we will subtract it. If this current value is greater, okay, or you can say larger, then we will what do? We will add up here. So that we can see, or if it is equal to also, we will add up. Larger or is equal to, then we are going to add up. If it is smaller, then we are going to subtract it. So we can see here 1 plus 1 plus 1. That is why we are adding it up here, okay? Here also what it is? 5 minus 1. Why we are subtracting? Because your next value, that means your current value is smaller. Current value will be what? I, right? And your next value will be what? 5. So that means your current value is smaller, right? Since it is smaller, we are subtracting. So this is what is the approach we are going to follow. So this next will play a role. We have to add or we have to subtract, okay? So this is what we are going to do. So in our for loop, we are going to write what? If condition. We will write if it is smaller, then you please add. If it is smaller, then you add, or else you can just subtract it. So that will come in our else part, okay? So that we are going to do here. So I'll just write here subtract. So now to store the addition or subtraction, we will be creating here a variable called as a sum. This will hold our addition or the subtraction, okay? So this is what we are going to do it here. So this will be our approach. So let us come down and let us solve this step by step. So what I will do here is we will come here and we will declare here a function, okay? So function, and I will create a function called as what? Roman to integer. That is what we have decided. So let us come here and quickly invoke it. Roman to integer. And in this first string, I am going to pass this capital 3 times I. So let us come here and let us take it here and put it over here. And after that, we will receive it here as a Roman, okay? And let us come here and console it. So I will write here what? Console.log. And I will write here what? Roman, okay? Now let us come here and write here what? Node day 41 challenge. And we see here what we get here. 3 times capital I. That means it is successfully running, right? Now what we will do, I will just comment this out, okay? And I will take this object as well inside it, okay? So let us take this object and I will comment here, and we will take the same object here itself, okay? So let us take this object now. So copy from here and I'll put it over here, okay? And now let us uncomment this also. After this, what we thought that we are going to take a loop, right, to work on each and every character of our string. So let us come here and write our for loop. So I'll write here what? For let I is equal to 0, right? And I should be less than or is equal to. So let us come here and write our for loop. So for let I is equal to 0 and I should be less than our Roman dot length, right? So this is what we are going to do it, and we will write here what? I plus plus, and then we will just console our I value. So console dot log, and I'll write here what? I. Now let us retest it. So we get here what? 0, 1 and 2. And if I write here what? I comma Roman of I, then what I will get? I will get our characters as well. So we got here all the 3 characters also at each I, so that we are able to access it now. Now what we decided that in this loop, we are going to create 2 variables, right? What will be the first variable? That is our current, okay? And then what is the next variable? That is our next. Okay. Now, how we are going to take our current value here? So I will write here what? Roman map, right? I told you, right? We will be using this here, right? So Roman map of, and in this I am going to write here what? Roman of I. This is what we are going to do it. And if you check here, so let us comment next, and we will come here and we will write here what? Console.log current now. And let us test it now in the terminal. So I will write it like this. You can see here we got 1, 1 and 1. So 3 times we are getting 1. That means we are successfully able to log our current. Now we have to get our next. So what we will do, we will take the same thing and we will just increment it by 1. So this will be I, and we will write here what? Plus 1. So when you get it, you will get your next value also. Let us write here current and next. So you will get here both of them. What do you get here? You get here 1, you get here 1, and here you get your undefined. I understand why we are getting it up, but that is not going to hamper our other statements, okay? So what we will do it, we will come here and we are going to now create our if and else statement now. So the next part, whatever we have done, this is only will be used for the comparison. This is not going to use for addition or subtraction, only for the comparison. So on the basis of the comparison, we will either add or we will either subtract, right? So we will come here and we will use what? If statement. What we said, that if our current is smaller then we are going to subtract it. If it is larger, then we will add up. So what I will write here, what? If our current is smaller than our next, then we have to subtract, right? How we are going to subtract it? We have to create here one more variable called as a sum. So sum is equal to 0. In this, addition or subtraction has to be stored. So we will come here and what we will write then? Sum is equal to sum minus our current. Okay, so we'll write it like this. And we will come here and we will write here what? Else sum is equal to sum plus current. Okay. And then at the end, what we will do, we will come here and we will console it out. So after our loop and everything, we will just console here what? Console.log of sum. Let us come here and test it in the terminal. So I'll clear the terminal and we will write here what? No day 41 challenge, and we will hit enter. What do we get here? See, we got here 3. So we are successfully able to run this particular thing. Let us come and test it out with a different input as well. So we will put the last one, that was 1994. So we will write here what? romanToInt, and I will pass this particular string here. Now let us test it one more time. So I will write here what? No day 41 challenge, and I will hit enter. We got here, see, 1994. See, this is all iterations and everything is showing. We are getting our string, and at each point we can see here and we are able to get 1994. This also we are getting. Suppose I pass here that 4 as well. Okay. So that was what? Capital I and V. Let us clear the terminal now one more time and let us hit enter. You will get here 4 as well. So we are getting 1994 and we are getting here 4 as well. See, and we are getting 3 as well. So all of them we are able to access it properly. So now just let us remove all the other console.log statements, line number 31, line number 34 as well. We don't need this. We need 41 only. So let us clear the terminal and let us see. We get here what? 3, 4 and 1994. So that means addition, subtraction, everything is working here, right? So let us come here and improvise our console.log statement. So we will take this particular line and we will put it in our console.log statement. So I will write here what? Using our template literal syntax, I will put comma and I will put it over here, Roman numeral string. What was our string? We will just put hyphen and I will write here dollar and it was a Roman, right? So I'll write here Roman into an integer, right? So let us save it, clear the terminal and rerun it now. Let us see, this was our string, correct? And we got easily converted over here, okay? Let us have a quick recap of this question now. So we have seen that we have to write a JS function to convert a Roman numeral string into an integer, and we had here sample input and output, right? So from the sample input and output, when we add, we were getting the desired output for this. When we subtracted, we were getting the desired output, right? This was 1, 1, 1, right? That is where we added up. This is 1 and 5, right? So when you subtract 5 minus 1, you are getting 4, right? So that is where we understood that we have to use both of them, addition and subtraction as well, right? Then later on what we did, we came here and we declared our function as what? Roman to integer, right? Now at line number 9, what we did, we defined our function name as what? Roman to int, right? And then from line number 12 to 22, we understood the approach. What was the approach? First, we created an object which were holding what? Our Roman numerals and their corresponding integer. And the range started from 1 to 1000. So that is what we have done. And we also understood in line number 17 and 18 that how can we access our object values by using a dot operator, also by using a square bracket also, right? And after that, since we wanted to work on each and every character of the string, we used a for loop, right? So and in that, it is going to behave like a same as an array. So our start point will be what? 0 and end point will be what? Roman dot length, right? So this was our loop starting and ending point. And so we have to keep on incrementing it till the condition fails, right? Then we declared a 2 variables, right? Current and next. And depending upon that, next we have done the comparison, right? We added, correct, and we subtracted it up, right? So what we did in the current, it is going to hold the current value. And if your current value is smaller than the next, we subtracted it up. If your current value is larger, then we added up. So that is what I said just now, that our next is going to be used for what? Just for the comparison. So this was our first value and that is our next value. After that, we also thought that for addition and subtraction, we have to store somewhere, right? So we stored it in a sum. You can declare any other variable as well. I put it here as a sum, okay? And that is what we have done here. At line number 24, we came and we defined our function that is nothing but Roman to int, and it was accepting a params over here as a Roman, right? And then we declared a variable called as a sum. This is going to store your addition or subtraction, which we are going to do it on the basis of a next, right? Then we came here and we put our same object, correct? That is what we are going to use it inside our loop, right? So what we did now, we used a for loop where it is going to start at 0 and end at our Roman dot length, that is our string, right? And then we incremented as well. Now in that, we created our 2 variables, right? That is our current and next. Our current is holding our current value, right? That is nothing but we use the square bracket to access it. And after that, we just increase the index of it so that it can hold our next. So this will be used only for the comparison, right? After that, we wrote here, what if our current is smaller, then you please subtract it. So sum is equal to sum minus current, right? And here else part, we have done our addition. And in our line number 41, what we did, we improvised our console.log statement and we printed our sum as well, right? At line number 44, 45, 46, we invoked it with 3 different input strings, right? where it was passing here and it was executing and giving us the final sum output, right? So let us come here and clear it up, and we will write here what node and day 41 challenge, and we are getting here current output, right? That is what was expected from us, right? So we have done this over here. I will write here Roman val, okay? Just to avoid the confusion of a sum. So wherever we have written our sum, I will just change this to Roman val, okay? So that we will understand it very nicely that it is a Roman value, right? Let us come here and clear the terminal, and I will rerun it over here. So we are getting here properly, right? So I just changed our sum to our Roman val. Okay, that is what we have done it over here. Okay, so this is what it was expected from us, and understanding Roman numerals and their conversion rule is a great exercise in working with the string, loops, and conditions. It is also a classic interview problem, guys. That's all, guys. I just want you all to practice this with your own string and understand the logic behind it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more daily coding challenges. And I will see you tomorrow with another exciting problem, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.